Arjun asks, O Shree Krishna, one who is self-realized, how does he talk? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he stand? What are the symptoms of this enlightened soul? Because we all need ideals to be inspired by. There was a time when people in India would be inspired by Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. They would put calendars of those on the walls. And people would find inspiration from them. And now it has all changed. Now you've got calendars of Shah Rukh Khan and Katrina Kaif and varieties of stars. So when people's ideals have changed, then their inspiration also has changed. So we need these self-realized saints as inspirations for ourselves and for learning from them. How did they reach there? We can reach through the same way. So Arjun's question is very relevant. He says, what are the symptoms of these great self-realized saints? And Shree Krishna answers,
Bhagavad Gita Sloka chanting is followed by translation and commentary by Swami Mukundananda.
Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthita dhih kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate dukkeshvanudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभं नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते.
Arjun said, O Keshav, what is the disposition of one who is situated in divine consciousness? How does an enlightened person talk? How does he sit? How does he walk? The Supreme Lord said, O Parth, when one discards all selfish desires and cravings of the senses that torment the mind and becomes satisfied in the realization of the self, such a person is said to be transcendently situated. One whose mind remains undisturbed amidst misery, who does not crave for pleasure and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady wisdom. One who remains unattached under all conditions and is neither delighted by good fortune nor dejected by tribulation. He is a sage with perfect knowledge. One who is able to withdraw the senses from their objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, is established in divine wisdom. Aspirants may restrain the senses from their objects of enjoyment, but the taste for sense objects remains. However, even this taste ceases for those who realize the Supreme.
Shree Krishna was talking about the intellect crossing over the quagmire of delusion. Arjun asks, O Shree Krishna, what is the symptom of one who has crossed that quagmire of delusion and becomes sthita pragya, situated in the self? In other words, one who is self-realized. How does he talk? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he stand? What are the symptoms of this enlightened soul? This question is important, firstly, because we all need ideals to be inspired by. So we need these self-realized saints as inspirations for ourselves and for learning from them. How did they reach there? We can reach through the same way. So Arjun's question is very relevant. He says, what are the symptoms of these great self-realized saints? So let us see. Now Sri Krishna says, further from here on, he just goes on answering Arjun's question. Throughout this Bhagavad Gita, Arjun has asked 16 sets of questions. And Sri Krishna has gone on answering them. So he asked this important question and Sri Krishna answers. The self-realized saint, he is free from both hankering, lamentation, fear. And Sri Krishna says he remains undisturbed in both misery and happiness. So one may say, my God, the self-realized saint, he feels neither happiness nor distress. Does he not have any senses? Have his 5 senses been destroyed? Can he not distinguish the taste between a sukhi roti and a rasgulla? Is that the meaning of God realized? So Sri Krishna says, no, Arjun, that God realized saint also possesses the 5 senses. But he is like a tortoise. The tortoise, whenever it requires, it contracts its legs into the shell. Whenever required, it spreads them out. Similarly, the God realized saint has got all the senses intact. It's not that you give him mud to eat and he'll say, I can't distinguish between mud and chawal, so I'm keeping on eating it. He distinguishes. The 5 senses are there, but he does not desire to enjoy the objects of these senses. He utilizes them when necessary, withdraws them when necessary. So that person who can withdraw the 5 senses, who has that kind of control over these 5 senses, that person would be considered a sage of steady intellect. Okay, so a God realized saint gets this tremendous control over the senses. How does he get it? Does that saint not want happiness? Is he beyond the desire for happiness? Well, the fact is, all of us want happiness, even that self-realized saint. Nobody can cut the desire for happiness. That is intrinsic to your soul. Why does the desire for happiness exist? As I always say, you are a tiny part of God. You are a tiny part of the ocean of happiness. Swami Vivekananda would say, O ye children of immortal bliss. The Vedas say, Amritasya vai putra. O children of the ocean of bliss, that is God. That is all of us. We are the bindus, the drops of that ocean of bliss. Hence, it is our nature to be drawn to our source. It is our intrinsic quality to desire the bliss of God. So that God-realized saint is also desiring bliss. But there is one difference. See, you keep on struggling with your senses. Swamiji said, give up attachment. Where is my attachment to cigarettes? Alright, give up cigarettes, give up cigarettes, give up cigarettes. What should I give up? Cigarettes. Now each time you think of giving up cigarettes, what will come to your mind? Cigarettes. So the more you think of giving up attachment, the more the object of the attachment enters the mind and more it increases your attachment. The same, all right, no, my attachment is not to cigarettes, my attachment is to the sun. So stop thinking of the sun. Stop thinking of whom? The sun. Now each time you think of giving up attachment, you think of the object of attachment to whom you are supposed to give it up. You think of your son. Your son comes to the mind, he increases the attachment. Giving up attachment is an impossibility. Impossibility. This is what this verse is going to imply. All right, with great difficulty you managed to give up the attachment to cigarettes. Then what happened? You got attached to drinks. Okay, now give it up. Now got attached to gambling. In other words, the mind is such, it has to be attached somewhere or the other. However, in this verse, Shree Krishna gives a very easy option. He says, Arjun, these senses, they will keep on hankering. Big yogis, munis, they got defeated by them. I am telling you a simple solution. Experience a higher taste and you will automatically get detached from the lower taste. Rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Give your senses, mind and intellect the taste of God. Let your senses, mind and intellect experience the bliss of devotion. And the struggle of worldly detachment will become easy. It will not go totally, but it will become easy. Why? Because you have got the higher taste. So similarly, God is the ocean of bliss. It's only a question of, for some time, controlling your senses and diverting them to God until you get that bliss of God. Once you get the bliss, after that, once you've tasted a rasgulla, would you eat a gobargulla after that? One who's got the bliss of God, why will they run after the world? So for some time that transition phase requires a little bit of effort. So Shree Krishna says, Arjun, the way of detachment is not self-abnegation. The way of detachment is superior attachment. As Ramakrishna Paramahans very nicely put it, devotion is love for the highest, and the lowest shall fall away by itself. So one lady was just telling me this Sunday, Swamiji, all these people, they talk about detachment. It seems impossible to me. How do I do it? I am totally attached to my children, my husband. That is my life. But I also like God. What should I do? I said, you are an emotional person. Somebody are intellectually strong, the heart is very emotional. So different shlokas for different folks. In your case, you forget about the detaching part. Just take this one mantra. See how you can attach yourself to God. Keep on attaching your mind to God. There is one mind. The more it gets attached here, the more it gets detached from there. Kabira manua ek hai, bhave jahan lagaya, bhave hari ki bhakti kar, bhave vishay kamaye. So take this mind towards God, Arjun, and then when you experience the higher taste, your detachment from the lower taste will be automatic.